very much, Phil, and good morning, everyone. I too would like to acknowledge the Kuku-Yalunji people as the traditional custodians of the land in which we meet, and pay my respect to elders past, present and emerging, and thank them for that wonderful welcome to country and smoking ceremony this morning. I also acknowledge other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people here with us today. And thank you as well to Kathy Etok. I know many people have already thanked her, but genuinely she is one of many, but a central force in bringing this gathering to fruition this week. I remember back in about December last year when I first met Kathy along with some colleagues in the Australian government, where she pitched this idea, and it's so wonderful to see it happening and to be part of it today. So I have the privilege of speaking on behalf of the Australian government representatives here, and there are a few of us. I will point them out so you know who to come and catch up with throughout the next couple of days. Joe Evans, who's sitting at this table over here, giving a wave. Joe is the Deputy Secretary in the Department of Climate Change, Energy, the Environment and Water, and is responsible for the broad range of domestic and international policies and programs on climate change through the Australian government. Justin Mohammed, who many of you know, who spoke a couple of days ago, Australia's inaugural First Nations ambassador, in the blue shirt in the chair over there. Sally Box, my colleague from the Department of Climate Change, who is the head of Australia's delegation to the UN FCCC climate negotiations, and myself as climate ambassador, and I'm broadly responsible for climate diplomacy and advocacy internationally on climate change on behalf of the Australian government. And we're all extremely honoured to be participating in this event. And while we'll be speaking in a few of the agenda items at the gathering, we are primarily here to listen and to learn from all of you. So please come and chat to us throughout the meeting and the breaks on various domestic and international climate policy issues, as we're very keen to hear your unique and individual perspectives on these issues. Yesterday's cultural tours were a really practical and enjoyable reminder of Indigenous people's deep and long-standing relationship and care for our country, and how we truly benefit when we do listen and learn from that. Across the Pacific region, we are connected by geography, history and kinship. As citizens of the Blue Pacific continent, the region's Indigenous people and local communities are ocean-faring and ocean-dependent people, as Phil mentioned, and have a special relationship to the sea and the cultural practices and generational knowledge related to its management and conservation. Indeed, the 2050 strategy for the Blue Pacific continent emphasises the importance of culture as a core theme, with culturally informed, locally led development the most effective approach. We do have some recent examples in working together in the region to share traditional knowledge and approaches to respond to climate change. For example, First Nations communities in Australia and Fiji are sharing knowledge to collaboratively develop technical expertise that will benefit a number of regional climate initiatives, such as the Pacific Blue Carbon Program and the Reef Cloud Program. Similarly, First Nations Australians are engaging with local communities in Samoa and Papua New Guinea to build capabilities in coral reef monitoring and conservation. And also in Papua New Guinea, the Southfly Ranger Program has adapted the Australian Indigenous Community Ranger Program model to support remote communities caring for country. And they now have a cohort of 178 community rangers, 38% of whom are women. We're also hopeful that new ideas for collaboration in the region will emerge from this week's discussions. And finally, Australia is committed to stepping up our engagement in the local communities and Indigenous peoples platform and enhancing our support for the inclusion of Indigenous knowledges, sciences and practices in our climate change policies and actions, both at home and internationally. So finally, thanks again. We appreciate the opportunity to hear the many conversations at this Pacific Regional Gathering, and we look forward to working with you going forward to raise Indigenous knowledge and perspectives in our shared response to climate change. Thank you.